Well, make sure you have your blocks, blankets. Some of the more difficult seated postures are good, and sometimes just all of them, even the basic ones, are good to know right off the bat to sit on that surface. Elevate the hips if you find that it's too difficult, or just do it. If you already know that you have trouble in forward folds and seated, and that your back tends to round in that position, then just immediately when we're in our seated postures, just sit right on top of it, and then you can benefit much more that way. Another option is, I was reading today, another option is to put a towel or something underneath the extended leg, so that, let's say you have your leg bent like this, you put a towel right under it, and then that way you feel like you still have some support, but that you're not the one bending the leg, but that surface is bending the leg. All right, so we're going to be going through, and like I did last week, we're going to count through our sun salutations, since we all are familiar with sun salutation. But let's start off in child's posture. And let's begin with just relaxed arms. You know, see that the body is now really being tended to. You're really taking care of the body at this time. So sinking in a little bit more, and it's so important to really consider what we are doing here with this physical body. We are responsible for taking care of it, and it is not who we are. It is not our true identity. So it is a vehicle for our consciousness to experience the physical world, this physical body. And we are charged with taking care of it. So now let's start to straighten the arms a little bit. See maybe if you can straighten and bring the palms down, or bring the palms together and straighten the arms. Feel that now you can start to experience a little discomfort. We're going to be playing around with how much discomfort we can feel, we can experience through the body. Being intelligent about how much discomfort we allow it to experience. Never going too far, but just offering just enough to strengthen and create flexibility and endurance. Let's shift into victorious breath, Ujjayi Pranayama, taking a breath in through the nose. Open the mouth, fog out. Mouth stays open, fog in. Close the mouth, exhale through the nostrils. Consider this breath the key to your practice. So it is required all throughout, from the beginning to the end, until the moment we rest in Shavasana. So now let's take that breath and rise up to table posture, hands and knees. We'll move through a few cat-cows. From cow posture, tailbone shifted up, go ahead and find downward facing dog. Roll over the toes, send the hips back, find a little motion. All of this is to just warm up before we Move through sun salutations. So before we go forward, remember in downward facing dog, we're dealing with locks in the body. The root lock is the Mula Bandha. So you want to pull up the pelvic floor. And then the Uddiyana Bandha is that right in the belly. It's the inner girdle. You want to pull this in. This is really important energetically for our practice. So every posture, do your best to remember and engage those areas. And then let's go ahead and step forward. See if you can keep those areas engaged. Come up halfway, lengthen the spine. Exhale, release down. Feet can be together if that works for the ankles. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing. Reach the arms up. Exhale, Samastitihi. Let's move through Sun Salutation A 2 times, and I'm just going to count for each posture rather than name them. So, 1, arms up. 2, fold. 3, halfway up. 4, hands down, float back, lower. That's all 4. 5, back bend. 6, downward facing dog. So I still named them to some degree, but now you get the idea. We'll take about 4 deep breaths here. Seven, step forward. 8, halfway up. 9, fold. 10, rise. Kind of went a little extra there. And then 11, hands together. So let's try again, but this time I'm going to cut those numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, breathing. 'Step forward. 7 is halfway up. 8, 9, 10. Letter B, bend the knees. This is 1, arms up. 2, fold. 3, halfway up. 4, hands down, float back, lower. 5, back bend. 6, downward facing dog. Step the right foot forward. Arms reach up. 7, 8, hands down, step back, lower. 9, back bend. 10, down dog. 11, warrior A, left foot forward. Arms up. 12, hands down, step back, lower. 13, 14, breathing. 'Step forward, 15, halfway up. Fold. 16, bend the knees, rise. Standing tall, Samastitihi. Let's go through one more. I won't count this time. So take your way through. So we're meeting in Samastitihi. And from here, we start our standing sequence. So feet hips distance apart, hands to hips. Pada Angusthasana. Inhale, lift the heart, find a back bend, engage the legs. Exhale, fold, grasp the big toes with the peace fingers. Inhale, find length, lift the head, straighten up the back. Exhale, bend the elbows, let the head go. Gaze past the knees. Every exhalation, a little bit of a gentle tug. Padahastasana. Lift the head, straighten the arms. Exhale, step on top of the hands, toes to the wrists. Inhale, excuse me, lift the head. And then exhale, fold. Bring the weight into the toes. Every exhalation, maybe you can straighten the legs just a bit more. Inhale, lift the head. Exhale, hands to hips. Inhale, rise to standing. Exhale, Samastitihi. Utthita Trikonasana, extended triangle posture. You can step the right foot to the back of the mat, bring the arms to a T. If you're stepping left foot back to the mat, doesn't matter. Pivot the right foot forward, so facing short side of the mat. Exhale, reach out with the right arm, lower it down to the right leg. Inhale, the left arm upwards. You have right hand to right leg. You can have hand to thigh, hand to ankle, hand to outside of the right foot, or you can grasp the big toe with the right peace fingers. Look up past the left thumb. You can also have a block to the inside or outside of the leg. Exhale, look down at the right foot, rise up to standing, arms to a T. Exhale, pivot the left foot forward, right foot facing side of the mat. Reach out with the left arm. Exhale, lower it. Inhale, reach the right arm upwards. Look up past the right hand. Hopefully you can find a sense of evenness between the right and the left side, finding the same variation on the left. If you can get the toe, really push the toe and the fingers into each other. You can get some nice support this way. Revolving triangle, look down at the left foot. Inhale, rise up to standing. Exhale, hands to hips, pivot to face, I'll say the back of the mat for me. We're facing the right direction of the right leg. Always the right side first. Inhale, lift the left arm up. Exhale, left hand down. The left toes can be a little to the left, but I find it better for my hips if the left toes face forward as well. Press into the right hip, turn the heart to the right. Now maybe the hand is on a block, or for more intensity, hand is to the outside of the right foot. Anywhere in between is good. Take that right arm up. Maybe you're looking up past the right hand. Exhale, right hand down, rise up to standing. Exhale, hands to hips, pivot to face forward, direction of the left leg. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, right hand down. Set up your hips, left hip back. Turn to the left, left arm up. Straight back, so we aren't curving, we're not creating a C form with this back. Exhale, left hand down. I gotta clear my throat. Rise up to standing, arms to a T, and then come to the top of the mat. Samastitihi, couple deep breaths. Okay, too early in the morning to speak for me. Okay, let's take the right foot to the back of the mat, arms to a T. Pivot right foot to the short side of the mat, lunge into the right knee. Right forearm to right thigh. Inhale, left arm up and over. Nice length from ankle to fingertips, from heel to fingertips. To go deeper, right hand to the outside of the right foot. If you know the bind and you want to take that, feel free. But we're here just a couple more breaths. Looking up past the left hand. Inhale, rise up to standing. Exhale, pivot to the other side. Lunge into the left knee. Left forearm down, right arm up and over. Look up past the right hand. Feel length in the limbs. Feel the limbs connected to each other. Inhale, rise up to standing. Exhale, pivot to face the right leg, palms together, left foot down, or you can lift the heel. Go ahead and take that left elbow or left upper arm outside of the knee or the thigh. Twist to the right, palms together to start. Then you can find another variation. You can open the arms, maybe left fingers to the block. You can take the right arm up and over, or you can keep the hands together. Back heel can lift if that feels better. And then we'll inhale, rise up to standing. Exhale, face the left leg. Palms together to start. Deep lunge into the left knee. Right arm outside of left leg. Find your variation as you twist to the left and look past the left elbow. If you have that left arm up and over, still in the same spirit, up to the left is the gaze. One more breath. Inhale, rise. Exhale, samastitihi. So that was extended side angle posture and then revolving. Now we'll come into wide leg forward fold. Right foot to the back of the mat. or open the legs, arms to a T. Exhale, hands to hips. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, fold, plant the palms. Inhale, come up halfway to lengthen. Exhale, fold in, and maybe you can walk the hands back so they're aligned with the feet. And maybe you can start to work the crown of the head down. Once you get familiar with all these postures, you know exactly when you need to bring a block. And as we progress, the blocks eventually, are used differently or not used at all. Just depends on how consistent we are. Next inhale, come up halfway, lengthen. Exhale, hands to hips. Then from here, we're going to fold and just let the head dangle loose. Feel the head pull in the neck. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands behind and release the fingers. Squeeze the shoulders back. Look upwards. Exhale, fold forward. So we went through letter A, B, this is C. All in the section of Prasarita Padottanasana. And then we're going to go into letter D. Another breath here. Release the hands down. Let's just go right into D. Grasp the big toes with the peace fingers. Lift the head, straighten up the back. Exhale, bend the elbows and see if you can take the crown of the head down to the mat again. And again, if not, no worries. We're here to find the current limitations and meet the body at that point of challenge without over-challenging it. As we overexert ourselves, we won't want to practice anymore. So we have to find just the right amount. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, hands to hips. Rise up to standing. Exhale, Samastitihi, top of the mat. Parshvottanasana, intense side stretch. Step the right foot back. Arms to a T. Hands behind, grasping opposite elbows with the hands. Or if you have a little bit more flexibility, reverse prayer. Right behind the back, the palms meet. Pivot to face the front leg. Toes on both feet facing forward. Lift the heart, look upwards. Exhale, fold halfway first. Then send the right hip back, left hip forward. This might be it right here, or you might be able to continue to extend without rounding the back. I'm trying to meet the heart towards that right foot, gazing past the short side of the mat, slightly past the toes. And keep the arms as they are. Rise up. Exhale, pivot to the left. Facing left leg, toes all in the same direction. Lift, find length, look up. Exhale, fold halfway. That way we can set that left hip back, right hip forward, aligning the hips with each other, and then slowly lowering. And we'll inhale, rise, open the arms back up, move the wrists if you had them in reverse prayer, and then come to the top of the mat. I'm going to move this. This is helpful for when I'm taking the sun salutations, create some firmness under the hands, but not needed anymore. So here we are. Let's go ahead and balance Uttita Hasta Pada Angustasana. So we have hands to hips. If you need some support, find a chair or a wall. Left side of the body would be by that support. With hands to hips, begin to shift the weight to the left leg. Engage that thigh and the glute. Nice straight leg. Micro bend is okay. Lift the right knee up. Gently touch that right knee with the right hand. Holding here. Maybe if you can go further, grasp the right big toe with the peace fingers. extending the leg. Use the belly here. It's a good belly strengthener, hip flexor strengthener. Take the right leg to the right. Maybe you turn the head to the left for a little extra challenge. If you're holding the toe, you're pushing that toe into the fingers. And the fingers back into the toe. Take the leg back to center, holding it with both hands. Lift the leg up as you send the trunk down. Then bring the hands to the hips, keep the leg lifted, point the foot, spread the toes. One more breath. And release. Switching to the other side. Feet hips distance apart, hands to hips. Engage the right leg and glute. Shift over to the right leg. Lift the left knee up. Touching it with the hand, holding it there, just a gentle touch. Or maybe extending the leg, holding the toe. Locking your eyes on something that isn't moving to help you with balance. That way you become as still as the object that you're viewing. Take the leg to the left. Find an object to the right that you can lock the eyes on. Inhale the leg back to center. Exhale, knee to nose, lifting the leg, sending trunk down. Hands to hips. Keep the leg lifted. Point the foot, spread the toes. And lower. Release. You can roll the ankles. Swing the legs around, get some tension out. And then we'll find our way to the top of the mat. Here we're going to take a sun salutation. Let's see. I think what we'll do, actually we have one posture before that. So we're going to be taking the right leg. So this is Ardha Baddha Padmottanasana. We're going to take the right foot on top of the left thigh like a half lotus, but in standing. Now, if that's difficult, you can find a single-legged chair. You're going to bring the ankle closer to the knee. And then you can bend the knee there. Or if you have this foot towards the upper crease, towards that top crease, maybe you can find a bind behind the back, holding that foot. Either way, none of it's necessary. The bind is not necessary. We're going to fold, whether you have that foot closer to the knee or up towards the crease. And then we're going to release down, maybe straightening the left leg, maybe keeping it bent, maybe holding the foot. Again, just finding the right amount of challenge and ability, bringing those two things together. Now we'll start to come out of this side so we can go into the other side. So releasing, finding the right variation for your body. So folding when you're ready. And that right hand is down maybe on the fingertips, maybe on a block. Forgot to mention that. But you've got two limbs supporting this. Potentially three if you got both hands down. Okay, one more breath. You're going to start to come out of this and then come to the top of the mat. Here we're coming into fierce posture or chair posture. Big toes together, heels apart. Exhale, bend the knees. Inhale, reach the arms up. About 4 deep breaths here, looking up past the hands. Next exhalation, fold forward over straight legs. Inhale, come up halfway. Hands down, float back. Full sun salutation here. And then into warrior A, right foot forward, left heel down. Reach the arms up. Sink into the right knee, maybe look up past the hands. See about taking the arms a little further back. Straighten the right leg, pivot to the back of the mat, lunging into the left knee. Same posture, left side. Exhale, warrior B. Arms come to a T. Right toes face the long side of the mat. Still lunging into the left knee. Looking past the left fingertips. Straighten the left leg, pivot to come into that right knee, lunging. Here we're going to take a vinyasa through to seated. So next exhale, windmill the hands down around the right foot. Lift the right foot, step it back. Lower. Find your back bend. From downward facing dog, we come to seated. You can jump the feet up, cross the ankles in the air, lower them down. You can bring the knees down, swing the legs forward. Whatever works for you. And then we're going to have the legs extended forward. Flex the feet, bring the palms down next to the hips. And then lower the, lower the chin down. Every time I do that, my voice cracks. Lower the chin down. Pull up on the pelvic floor. Pull the belly in. Get the bandhas engaged. Those locks. And then take about 3 more deep Ujjayi breaths. Okay. Paschimottanasana, letter A. Inhale, reach the arms up. You can look up. Exhale, fold. Grasp the big toes with the peace fingers. Inhale, lift the head. Exhale, bend the elbows to fold. Now this is where it would be a good spot to sit on a blanket or to bend the knees. Submit to the fold. This is called Western stretch. Inhale, come up halfway, letter B. Wrap the hands around the feet. Thumbs to the big toes. Now you can see the little toes. Lift the heart. Exhale, bend the elbows to fold. And remember, it's not about getting the feet. You can hold the back of the thighs or the calves even. You know, it's about really trying to feel the stretch in the back of the legs and keeping a long extended back while we're doing so to help with that. Now there is a letter C. If you can go low enough to take the hand, one hand to the other side of the feet, the soles, and the other hand to the wrist. I can't do it this morning, but you can do that right past the legs. And if that doesn't work, you stay in letter B. And that's the general rule. Whenever there's an A, B, C, D, if you can't go to D, then you stay in C. Even while, you do it twice, because it's a matter of progression. Let's rise and come into reverse plank. Purvottanasana. So palms down, right behind the hips, right under the shoulders. And then you push into the hands to lift the hips up and plant the feet. See if you can get there. If that's really uncomfortable, bend the knees and then keep the feet right under the knees in a reverse table. Now we're going to take a vinyasa. So exhale, lower. First one we'll take. The next ones you can opt in or out. But right from here, we have the hips down. Lift the arms and the legs like you're coming into boat. Cross the ankles. Lower the feet down, outer edges. This is one way to get there. Palms forward. I like to use the belly and the arms to lift the hips and then step back, though you can do that all in a jump. Exhale, lower. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog, where we'll come back to seated. Again, maybe a jump or maybe not. Okay, so we're going to go into Janu Shirshasana. There's 3. Actually, no, we have 2 before that. Ardha, Baddha, Padma, Paschimottanasana, like we were in standing but in seated. Right foot to left thigh for half lotus. Right knee down. If that doesn't work, foot to thigh or foot to knee. Right from here, inhale, reach the arms up. If you exhale, take the right hand behind the back and see if you can find the hand towards the foot. If you're close, then you're good. You might be able to grasp it. If you're not, you'll just keep the hand back there for now. Look up past the left hand. Exhale, fold, hand somewhere to the left leg. Every inhalation finding length, every exhalation folding in. Now, if the hand feels useless back there, you can just release it and hold the left leg. So in order to get all these postures in, we're going to kind of cheat, and we're going to go one after the other, all on the right side, so that we can squeeze them in. It's a time saver. So let's inhale, rise. Exhale, switch the right leg so that the right foot is to the outside of the right hip. Keep this foot extended so it's in line with the shin. This is a good one to sit on something if this feels difficult. If it's impossible for the knee, you're going to keep foot to thigh. Reach the arms up. Exhale, fold. Hands somewhere to the left leg. Find length. Exhale, fold in. So we would have gone right, left, right, left, right, left, but I want to fly through this section so that we can get to the end and focus on some of the reclining postures. Inhale, rise. Now Janu Shirshasana, letter A, which we all know, foot to thigh. So it might be your 3rd time going there, and that's okay. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold. The point is, if it is the 3rd time going there, it's going to help build your body up to be able to do something else down the line, or to get further into this posture. So we're folding for a couple more breaths. So letter B will be rising and sitting right on top of the right heel. It's going to be right in the space between, it's like right around the perineum actually. So in front of the anus. Now we'll go ahead, once you get that, and if you don't get it, again, foot to thigh, reach the arms up, exhale, fold, find length, fold in, engage the bandhas. Inhale, rise. Last one here, letter C. We're going to take this right foot and then pick it up with the hands, flex the toes, and then put the ball of the foot down so that heel is up towards the thigh. See what you can do. Takes a little movement there, some force, gentle force. Arms reach up on the inhale, exhale, fold. Inhale, find length. Exhale, fold. So between all of these would have been a vinyasa if we were really taking it to a high endurance level. And some people would even do a vinyasa between the right and the left sides. So we're going to rise, and we'll take a vinyasa before we take the other side. So arms and legs lift. Exhale, cross ankles, hands forward. Step or jump back. Lower. Back bend. I know that was a little fast. Downward facing dog. Back to seated. And now we're working with left leg. So left leg forward, nope, right leg forward, sorry. We're working with left leg. Left foot on top of right thigh. Right foot flexes. See maybe about taking the hand behind and finding the foot. Keep the knee down, push that knee down. Inhale, reach that right arm up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, find length. Exhale, folding in. Okay, the next posture, Trianga Mukha Kapada, Paschimottanasana. And let's rise. Take the foot to the left. Keep the knee down, the foot extended in line with the shin. Inhale, reach arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, find length. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, rise. Janu Shirshasana, letter A, left foot to thigh. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Finding length, folding in. Being sure not to collapse the spine. Letter B, rise up, sit on top of the left heel. Inhale, reach arms up. Exhale, fold. Finding length, folding in. Inhale, rising. Release the foot, then hold the foot so you're kind of turning it away, turning it downward, and then putting the toes back down, that heel to the leg. Inhale, reach the arms up. Oh, got to keep this knee down, left knee down, and then go ahead and fold. Today we're going to get to go into the twists, the Marichyasana twists. A little bit challenging, but we didn't do them last time, so I'd like to see if we can get to them. Another deep breath. So let's inhale, rise. Okay, let's take our vinyasa. Now, if you don't want to take a vinyasa, just sit nice and tall and focus on breathing. Finding a seat. So we're going to start with the right leg. Going to plant the right foot down and kind of roll to the left hip a little bit, and then bring the foot as close to you as you can. So there's some options. Most likely we're going to be right here. We're holding this right leg and then just kind of folding a little bit forward. But if we can, we're going to take the shoulder to the inside of the knee and maybe fold into the left leg. You could hold the left leg somewhere. It's the second step. The third would be to lower further. So you can take the hand back, fingers back, palm up, and begin to take it behind or in front of the right shin, taking the left hand behind and finding a bind with the fingers, folding into the left leg. The Marichyasana section really helps with tension in around the shoulder blades. Inhale, rise. I think we can just go right into the next one. So, no, let's switch sides. We're just going to switch right to the other side. So left foot comes in, planting it there. Again, maybe right here you're holding that left thigh and kind of leaning forward. Or maybe you can lower into the right leg. Or maybe you're going to take the shoulder as far down as you can, top of the hand, fingers going back, and then hand behind. And then we'll rise and go ahead, and now we're going to take this left foot right on top of the right thigh for a half lotus. And if that's not going to work, you can keep the foot down. But then we're still going to be picking up the right foot, leaning to the left sitting bone and planting the right foot. Now we have the right sitting bone lifted. So if you're not there, you have the foot down and you're bringing in this right leg, okay? So see which one's going to work. And then we're going to just see if we can kind of fold into this. But there's a bind as well. So it seems very, very awkward, but it really is worth the try because it does release tension quite a bit and stretches the hip. So if you can go forward, as we did before, palm up, fingers back, start to fish that hand back, and then see if you can meet fingers behind around that thigh, folding here. Lots of modifications. Find the one that works. And we'll inhale, rise. Release this to switch legs. So we set up the right foot. Either we keep it down or we bring it on top of the left thigh. Then we roll to the right hip and pick up the left foot. Now the left sitting bone is floating. And again, maybe this is where we stay. The right knee needs to stay down if you're in the half lotus. Or maybe we start to lean forward a little bit, hugging that left leg. Feel some nice stretching in the low back. Maybe we get the shoulder to the inside of that shin, fish the hand back, maybe find a bind behind the back. Just a few weeks ago, I thought this was totally impossible. So it's just a matter of persistence. And of course, there's always a deeper expression. And then we'll inhale, rise up. Okay, so since I want to fit more in, we're going to skip the last Marichyasana, but we'll go into letter C. So let's plant the right foot. Take the right hand behind, fingers face back. Now you can hug this leg in nice and close and then turn. This to me is actually impossible because there's a bind here. It's currently impossible for my body. But some might be able to do it so that you would take your left arm to the outside of the thigh. You would really rotate inwardly the shoulder. You would bend the arm and then take the hands behind the back and find a bind. So we'll see if it's possible if I keep trying for a couple months maybe. But we're twisting to the right, so we've all done this posture in one way or another. Now we're going to come to center and try the other side. Matching your breath with your motion. Twisting to the left for another 2 breaths. And then come to center. Let's take a vinyasa here. So arms and legs lift. Cross ankles, hands down. You can skip, of course. and just focus on breathing. Once we come to seated, we will be lifting arms and legs up, coming into boat. So lean back a bit, hands, arms forward, lift the legs. Maybe extending them. There's a nice arm balance after this. I think next week we're going to do that, but not today. Exhale, lower across the ankles. Bring the palms down next to the hips. We're going to take it up by pushing into the palms and then lifting the knees and the ankles up, engaging those root locks. Exhale, lowering the root lock and that belly lock. Take a second one. And that's preparation for being able to take specific, very graceful vinyasas. Exhale, cross the ankles, lower them, plant the palms. Inhale, bump the hips up. Take the knees up. Exhale, lower. Maybe nothing lifts, but things inside are working. We're going to separate the legs far apart from each other and then begin to fold. But we're going to now take the arms, hands underneath the legs, and see if you can keep feeding the arms underneath the legs. At some point, a person who can get all the way down would get their shoulders down to the ground and their chest down to the ground. But then where you have your arms, you might have to keep the knees bent, or you might be able to straighten the legs and lift the heels off the mat. Keep the feet flexed. This is a really deep stretch for the back of the legs, and would be for the shoulders too if we can get far enough. And then we're going to start to release out of that. Okay. Bring the soles of the feet together. Baddha Konasana. Bring the feet close in and then open the feet with the hands. Open the knees. Straighten up the back and then just bring the chin down. Take 3 deep breaths here. Pull up on the pelvic floor. Draw the low belly in. Now we'll start to hinge forward. And then we'll inhale, rise. We're going to take the legs out again into a strong V. And here we will hold the feet if we can. If not, you're holding the legs. Okay, so just go where you can and then start to go forward. If you can hold the outer edges of the feet. Now from here we're going to try, I cannot pop up, but apparently the body would be able to hold the big toes and then just pop right up with straight legs. But basically this means that we can bend the knees, hold the big toes with the peace fingers, and then lean back into the sitting bones so you can hover the feet, and maybe you stay right there, or maybe you can take the legs and extend them out. Now if you're going to do that, you have to push the toes and the fingers into each other. So make sure you have some clearance behind you. I think I'm just about there. I always have a fear of it though. So I'm going to scooch up. So you might scooch up and then come back. And then what we're going to do is still hold the toes, but you don't have to have the distance so far away from the feet. Maybe they come a little closer. You're going to roll down to the back, keep the bind, and then see if you can pull your toes up overhead behind you. And maybe straighten the legs, or maybe not. And then exhale, lower the hips down. Keep holding the right toes. Extend the left leg down onto the mat, where we're going to bring the left hand on top of the left thigh. And straightening up the right leg if we can, but bending it is just as good. Now see if you can lift the head while you draw the leg in. Lower the head. Take the leg to the right. Keep pressing down onto that left thigh. Turn the head to the left. Bring the leg back to center. And then with both hands, draw the leg closer and closer towards the trunk. And we're going to switch legs. Release the right leg. Bring the left leg up. Hold the big toes with the peace fingers. The big toe. Right hand down on top of right thigh. Anytime anything feels unnatural, then find the thing that feels a little bit more natural for the body. So if bending this right leg and planting the foot feels better, if that works better and there's less strain, that's what we want to do. We're really focusing on balancing the amount of effort needed. Lift the head. Lower the head, take the leg to the left, turn the head to the right. Bring the leg back to center. Draw it in with the right hand as well. And then we'll exhale, lower the leg. Now, I would have liked more time here to do some more reclining things, but I think what we'll do is we should do 2. So we're supposed to do 3 back bends. Now we usually go up into a bridge. What I've learned is called a bridge, but it's actually a variation of upward bow. So you can either lift the hips and go here, or if you know how to do a back bend with the palms down, then you'll bring those hands down under the shoulders, fingers facing the direction of the feet. The feet are in towards the bottom, and then you'll inhale, lift. So we're going to take 2 sets. So if you're going to push in and you need a little assistance, lift the heels. I find this extremely challenging for my body. So find out where you need to be. Once you rest, you'll take a breath and then you'll take a second set. We're kind of rushing through this, but be very careful if you're going into that back bend, that upward bow. And then exhale, lower. We're going to rise right up, come to seated for a forward fold. All right, next week we will definitely get more into some of the reclining. But let's fold here. And we'll rise, come all the way down, bring the knees into the chest, arms to a T, float the knees to the right, turn the head to the left. Bring the knees to center and over to the left, head to the right. Bring the knees to center, give them a final squeeze, and then we'll release the body. We will let it rest. Take the shoulders back, and then release the arms down alongside the body, palms up, toes facing away from each other. We started this practice considering our responsibility for taking care of this body in which we get to experience the physical world. But like every animal, if we're treating it like maybe a sacred animal, we need to let it rest. It needs to be active to stay healthy, but it also needs to rest to stay healthy. And so we're offering this vehicle, this body, a balance. So taking one more breath in through the nose, releasing out through the mouth. Release all effort with this body and rest completely. Still resting, but notice if you're tense in any area of the body, release that tension, rest that space. Finding a deeper and deeper rest. Sinking your awareness more and more inwardly. And now bringing your awareness more and more outwardly. So we sunk in, now we're going to kind of lift out and become aware of the body again. It's a short rest, but it's effective. It's very helpful. Important to find that stillness and that perfect rest. So begin to deepen the breath, begin to consider moving the hands and the feet again. Then when you're ready, start to find fingers and toes, wrists and ankles moving. If you feel like you're ready for a longer rest, if you have time for that, after class, just go right back down and rest. Or maybe stay down now if you'd like. We're going to start to rise otherwise. So maybe stretch the arms back, bring the knees in, arms around the knees. And then rise up to seated. Check in, see if you want to move the head around a little bit, circles or side to side. Just make sure you're loosened up all around. And then we're going to seal our practice by bringing the palms together And let's, with a sound that will make, let the goodness that we've cultivated in our practice today, all of the good virtues, all of the presence and the attention and awareness that we cultivated, let us send that outward. And in that way we can be a force for good in the world. So we'll do that all with the sound of Om. Taking a deep breath in. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. I honor the light in you. That is the same light in me. Namaste.